There's something that couples say to each other that tends to end their sex life. It's a sentence along the lines of, "This is just who we are," or "We've settled, we're not very sexual. After kids, that part of us is gone." These sentences feel descriptive, like the couple is just being honest about where they are. They're not descriptions, they are conclusions. And the moment you reach a conclusion, you stop trying. This video is about the belief underneath these sentences and what changes when you stop holding it. There is a Stanford psychologist, Carol Dweck. She studied people, how they think, what are their beliefs when challenges arise. And they always arise in our lives. And she found out that there are two camps of people. There are people with so-called fixed mindset who would say, "Oh, this is how I am, this is how things are, this is the life situation," and that's a statement. And then there are people who have so-called growth mindset. They would say, "Oh, we are in a situation, so what should I do now? How can I change to cope with that, to deal with that?" And you see, one is a statement, the other one is a question. And that defines whether we do something about it or not. Beliefs don't just describe what we think. Beliefs also define whether we try, whether we attempt to do something about it or not.
How does it apply to our sexual lives?
And that is something that I find very interesting. So, majority of us have that growth mindset apply to anything that is important to us, anything where we want to grow. When we want to advance in our careers, we learn new skills, we apply for jobs, and we become better at it. When we want to lose weight, we learn about healthy nutrition. When we want to become fitter, we learn about exercise and all small different things that would help us to become stronger. But paradoxically, somehow, those same people that have this growth mindset in every other field of their lives, they come to me and they have that fixed mindset when it comes to sex. This is how we are. Now, since we had children, we don't have sex at the frequency or intensity that we would like to. This is how it is now. Or since I am in my menopause, everything changed, and this is how things are. And this is the paradox, because the same mindset can be applied to intimacy, to sex.
So in the same way that the Stanford psychologists studied the growth mindset in other aspects of life, are there any studies that prove this to be true for sex?
Yeah, there are. There was a study by Maxwell. She followed two groups of people. One of them believed that sexual connection is a destiny. They had that destiny belief. The other group believed that sex is something that you actively build and create. Basically, these are the exact same reflection of fixed mindset and growth mindset. And so what do you think? In the first 3 years, when they were in that honeymoon period, it was the relationships were very similar. They all were doing fine. However, in long term, past that honeymoon phase, this is when we could see the stark difference. Those who believe that it's a destiny with fixed mindset, they were struggling much more than those who believe that it's something that they can actively change and impact. And their sexual lives were much more satisfying in long term.
This seems to be a very powerful tool, how to frame our attitudes towards sex. What would be some of the first practical applications that our viewers can take?
Beliefs are not something that is easy to work with. It takes time for a belief to change. However, there is one tool that comes from Dweck herself. So she recommends to use one word, to add one word to anything you say when you are not satisfied with how things are. And this word is yet. So instead of saying, everything has changed since I am in menopause, you can say, a lot of things changed since I'm in menopause, and we haven't figured out yet how to go about it. Or we're not sexual anymore, and instead you say, we haven't figured out yet how to become more sexual in this stage of our life. So this word is something that changes your perspective from the statement to an opportunity. How do we go about it? And of course, like, you wouldn't see the changes on day one. But if you apply that over a period of time, say 6 months, you'll see that your relationship is in a very different place than it was before you started using it. Try it.